R&B Money.
2020 experience.
Yeah, like, so I had been working with Justin, and then we also worked together. We wrote a song called Cold Case Love, which is one of my favorite songs I ever worked on that Rated R album. And, you know, I feel like even though Justin is my homie for my whole career, and we have written like so many incredible songs, but it was like, you know, as far as, at least from my perspective and feeling qualified, whether I was qualified or not, but like, first working on the exclusive album, that gave me some access to the experience of like working on an album. Then working on that Rihanna album, because that was Rihanna's decision, you know what I mean? Like, the reason none of them songs were singles was because the label at the time was like, who is this nigga? He's not The Dream, he's not Sean Garrett, he's not gonna be the person that writes the singles for this album.
Wow. Shit.
And you know, but working on that album and getting so much trust from Rihanna, I feel like really propelled me to, you know, like being qualified to really, like, you know, Justin, we was working so much, but after doing the Rihanna album, I really feel like that is what put me in that kind of place in people's minds that you could call me to work on your whole album, because the album was great, the Rated R album.
I remember I called you one day. We were talking about something. It was random, you know me, nigga. Like, I just, me and you, we won't talk for a year, and then we'll talk. And I'm on the phone with you, and you said that to me. You was like, Jay, I'm not interested in writing songs for people. I want to do albums. And this was early, and it kind of threw me off. I think at the time I might have been doing I probably was consulting for Motown. I was doing something, and I, I was like, to come back. And I'm like, you know, I gotta call James. Like, I gotta call the guy. And you're like, yeah, Jay, I don't really want to just do one song here and there. I want to be able to do the whole album. And at first, it threw me off to the point where I was just like, James, that's a lot. These artists aren't going to, you know what I'm saying? These artists aren't just going to let you just do the whole album. And I think I said that to you, and you were like, well, I'm gonna wait till somebody let me do a whole album. And crazy enough, if the timeline is working, you're probably broke at this time when you're saying this to me, which makes this even more powerful. Because you were sticking to something. And I didn't know that, and it wasn't like we was on the phone. You telling me, nigga, I'm struggling right now. You like, no, Jay, this is the path that I want to go on. And I respected it, and then to see you go and do the entire album with Justin was like, oh, he did exactly what he said he was going to do, what he set out to do.
Yeah, bro. That was such a great experience.
So I commend you for that,
what
bro.
An album to get most of, though. Like, you could have had
to go and co-write that.
And you never want to downplay or diminish anyone's, you know, any artist's success, or, you know what I'm saying? Like, you've had access to many artists. Who probably would have been like, sure, I'll do the whole thing with you. You know what I'm saying? They came out, sold, you know, 4,000 or 5,000 records. You know what I'm saying? But you would have accomplished your goal. You have the 2020 experience. Like, to me, which to me is my favorite Justin album and favorite Justin tour.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that was killer.
Yeah.
Killer. Top 3 for me.
Same, bro.
We went to the Forum to see that tour, right? Yeah, that was at the Forum.
I went to 9 shows.
Oh, yeah, you went on. You
and
became
then
a roadie.
that one him and Jay-Z did after with the red stage, that was like part of the end of that tour promo. That was really nuts, bro.
Yeah, but
I mean, you also wrote Suit and Tie. I mean,
That's true.
like,
You know,
you was just acting.
I also wrote On the Run, which was the name of the tour.
Oh yeah, you did write On the Run too.
So I've had some fun tour experiences, like going and see
your
some of these big shows. Yeah, when I went to On the Run and see the big OTR on the big, you know, like stadium grass and all of that was pretty. I've seen some things.
Yeah, that's a floss.
Ooh, that's just
that's a floss.
I love you and hate you.
I love you and hate you.
Yeah, that's
pretty
crazy.
funny.
Yeah, that's I mean, and going back to, you know, bringing it full circle, that Push Your Love, I was like, I'm looking at Tim like,
I was happy to be there, man, and it was a lot of configurations of how we wrote. Because that was the other thing with Justin, is he's so good. Y'all know that. You know what I mean? So it really was a lot of trust. And so it was a mixture of, you know, us, which I really, from my underdogs time, because you remember how, I mean, I don't know, you might have started it for all I know, but everybody would sit around with like the laptops and there'd be like 6, 7, 18 niggas in the room. And so I really grew to hate that over time because of all the split arguments and disputes and all of this. And so I really, by the time I got to Justin shit, I was like, I'm not doing that shit. I'm not sitting here singing with you or none of that shit. Which I'm over that now for the most part. But I was just like, I'm not doing that no more, you know? And so, but with him, it was like, because both of our minds are moving so quickly, it's because that's the real reason. It wasn't just all the headaches post that. It was like, I felt like when you add more people to the process, you do get something different from what each individual could do, which can really serve what you're trying to accomplish or really hurt
or fuck everything up.
You know what I'm saying? And so, especially in something like that where we trying to do some cold shit, we can't have a gang of niggas throwing out what they think is cool. But me and him was really going back and forth like it looks on TV, because I think niggas think writing songs is like the 5 heartbeats, and it ain't like that. But in that situation, it really was like that. We really were like going back and forth. It would be sometimes where it would just be tagging each other in, like he did the hook, he did the verse. And on that song, it was every song I was happy to be there. Obviously, I was so excited. Also broke as fuck at that time, so I was like, yes. But for Push Your Love Girl, he came in with that one. He came in with that and Spaceship Coupe, like just off the streets singing that shit. And then I was like, let's go. So, you know, I remember writing every single one of them songs like how it was, because it was just such a epic, fun experience. So much different from all my experiences up to that point, and most of the experiences I had after that even. And you know, I just wasn't anticipating. I wasn't thinking about Grammys. I really wasn't even thinking about money. It was just one nigga that kept calling me broke while we was working on that. So I did have to say something to that nigga one time about who was gonna be broke in a couple months.
Yeah,
he's broke now.
Oh, somebody knew. Somebody knew you was going through some shit and was just
Yeah, I let him say some shit for a minute until I had to. Because niggas don't be knowing my personality either. Because,
exactly. Yeah.
You know, I learned early on, just shut the fuck up. I tell people that all the time. Just shut your ass up and stop talking so damn much. And people think I don't talk or think I won't slap the shit out of them or say something like that. And I'm like, okay, you can think that. But he just went too far one day. So I had to let that nigga know what was up. And I was right.
And I was right.
I was right.
Clearly.
I think the beauty in everything that you're saying, I mean, it's two beautiful pieces for me. The first piece is that your gift wasn't fueled by money or success for that matter or anything. Like, you just wanted to write songs. You know what I'm saying? Like, you just wanted to write songs. Like, that's just it. And then, you know, putting yourself in a position, like almost in a sense in harm's way, where you say, this guy, like, people may know you're going through something, you're not articulating it, but you're still like, it's a prideless venture for you. I don't give a fuck what it is. I don't care what I have or what I don't have. Can I get in this room with you and just do what I do? Because that's where my value is. That's where anything, especially in this business, in this life that we have, that's when things can change. When you are living in that gift unapologetically, without any false motivations, without being under any crazy duress.
Yeah.
At least in your mind. Because like you said, like, I've been settled in broke. I've been broke so many times. Broke doesn't scare me.
That was funny.
Broke doesn't bother me. A bathroom, a bed, some Calvin Klein t-shirts, maybe 2 pair of jeans, couple pair of shoes, I'll figure it out. That's it.
Yeah.
And I think people have to, you know, that's the motivation that I want people to really understand. Like, you kept going regardless of what was happening. And it got you here.
Oh, yeah. I figured it out. I'm no longer broke, ladies and gentlemen.